I have 4 jobs. What's going on? It gets really hard. It gets really tough. And there are days where like I really feel like I could just quit everything.
1, 2, 3, let's switch this up.
Hi honeys, how are we doing today? My name is Anastasia, also known as your fave social media girl, for those who are new. If you are new, please don't forget to subscribe. It would really help me out and help my channel out. I'd really appreciate it. And of course, don't forget to hit that notification bell button so you know every single time that I post, which is on Fridays. So I wanted to talk about a little bit of like how to create a schedule, how to stay on top of jobs if you're working like multiple jobs, if you're, trying to really get your career going and all that kind of stuff and you're, juggling a bunch of things. Because that's what I'm doing right now. I have 4 jobs. I'm an actor based here in Toronto in Canada. I also do YouTube, obviously. I also have an Instagram account. I say that as if like nobody has one, but I also do Instagram. And on my Instagram, I do body positivity. I talk about self-love and I also post about acting here and there. And then my last thing that I have is a serving job that I've had before COVID. And I obviously continue with it now because I'm not financially stable for my other careers. So I would say I've been doing this like 4 job thing for 6 months now. And I think at first I didn't necessarily know how to juggle it. I didn't know what to do with it, but I definitely think doing these like tips that I'm going to give you all honeys really helped me sort of balance it out, juggle it out, and keep everything on track and also keep me on track, which is very, very important. So let's get started. Figure out what is your priority. So let's say you have, like me, 4 jobs. Figure out which one is your number one, meaning this is the one that you will always put first. This is the one that you will never like stop anything for. It always comes first. It always will top all the other jobs. This is your number one. Then figure out what your number 2 is, number 3, and number 4. My number 1 that is always going to be like, I'll never change it for anything and I'll always put it 1 is actually my acting. I've been wanting to be an actor for a very long time. And I will not come into my serving job if I booked a gig because that is my number 1 thing. Serving is always going to be there. I can find a serving job anywhere I go. I live in Toronto. We have like 3 million restaurants. So that to me is not an issue. So acting is always number 1. Number 2 will actually be my YouTube. YouTube for me is like my creative outlet. It's another way for me to be creative because in acting, you get a lot of downtime. Like for example, I submitted an audition today. I don't have any auditions yet. I don't know. I might get another one today or I might get one tomorrow. I might not get one for the rest of the week until next week. So it gets a little bit kind of like the waiting game really screws around with your head. So definitely the YouTube allows me to kind of put my creativity into something else where I'm not constantly thinking about, did I book it? Did I have another audition? What's going on? You know what I mean? Number 3 is actually my Instagram. And then my last one is my serving. I put Instagram number 3 because for me, I felt that the Instagram was something I started for myself to like love myself, make sure that I do self-love and I love my body. I mean, yeah, it'd be awesome to make money off my Instagram, but that's not my number 1 goal where I want to put all of my time and effort into that. Definitely my acting is where 100% goes into it. My YouTube is 95%. I always put out a video every week, every Friday. I don't ever miss it. But again, I find YouTube is a bit more of a hobby right now than an actual money-making machine. And then obviously my serving is last because, well, it's just a serving job. Like, I mean, you don't really need brains for that. No offense to my restaurant, but like... Also keep in mind is what is financially bringing you in the money. I mean, if all 4 bring the money, that's great, but one of them will always maybe bring a little bit more than the other ones. Figure that out as well. It is impossible, let me just say that, impossible for you to make everything number 1. I tried that and it is too hard and you cannot do that. So yeah. Always plan out a schedule. This one I live by it and all my friends make fun of me for it, but we're talking like a monthly schedule, a weekly schedule, and even a daily schedule. I'm not saying that you have to do all 3. Definitely the weekly and the daily are important. The monthly, it can depend if you are wanting to plan that far ahead. I try to do monthly. For me, it's a little bit hard because acting is so unpredictable. Acting really comes out of nowhere. Like you can get an audition today, but then you might not get one for another week or another 2 days or whatever. So it makes it hard for me to plan out a monthly schedule because I don't know what acting is gonna happen. But the weekly schedule and the daily schedule is very important. The weekly schedule, I will usually plan it out every Sunday or Monday, and I plan out my entire week of everything that I'm doing that I have to do that day. When am I gonna film my YouTube video? when am I going to plan my YouTube video? When am I working at my serving job? Then plan out what are my days off. I will plan what are the days that I will sit and think about what Instagram reels I want to put on, and then when am I actually filming my Instagram reels. So everything's planned out down to the T. Same thing with the daily schedule. Once like that day, let's say Monday today. So Monday today I had planned, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna make on YouTube, and I'm gonna get myself ready, and then I'm gonna do the actual YouTube video. I have to go to the bank today. I have to get Halloween decorations because I want to decorate my parents' house because I'm here right now and I wanted to do that. I have a few doctor appointments I have to, so like I literally plan it down out to the T of like what time I'm waking up, what time I'm eating, and have the whole entire day planned out for me. Really important for me as well when it comes to the planning, especially in the weekly ones. Like for example, tomorrow is Tuesday. I work at 4 p.m. at my restaurant. I'm probably not gonna come home until like 1:30-ish, 1 in the morning. I need to sleep in the next day. I need like a moment to myself in the morning because that job takes a lot physically out of me. Mentally, I deal with a lot of crap there. So the next day, I'm not gonna hop out of bed 9 a.m., run to the gym, do my skincare, and like start filming and everything. I'm gonna take a bit of a slower morning. That's really important as well. So make sure you know what you're doing the night before. Even if like, let's say, even like social events, like I'll plan out, okay, so Saturday night, I'm gonna actually see a couple of my friends with Nikita. I will know for a fact that Sunday, I most likely am not going to be filming anything on Sunday because I'm probably going to be hungover. We're drinking. I'm going to be tired. We're going to be out all night dancing. Like I know for a fact that that's going to be more of my rest day. Very important to also create an outline of what you're doing. I will never go into a YouTube video without not knowing what I'm talking about. It's really hard to stay on track. Like you'll end up talking for 45 minutes. And then when it comes to editing, it gets really crazy. But I'm just saying, not just for YouTube, I'm saying anything. Make sure you have an outline because this also keeps you on track, on time, and you don't end up wasting 3 hours on something that could have been done within 45 minutes. Make sure you give yourself a break. Oh my God, and I'm serious. Like it sounds so cliche, but schedule in your like 1 day or 2 days off, like however long you need. Even if like, let's say there are weeks where I knew for a fact that I did not have any days off. That's fine, it will happen. Life gets crazy, blah, blah, blah. But I will make sure to take at least an hour or 2 hours of my day where I'm like, I'll take a bath, I'll watch Sex and the City, whatever, like little things like that. Because I used to be before COVID, that girl who was like, push, 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 you don't stop, you keep going, your body can do it, yeah, yeah, yeah. And the next thing I know, I'm like either sick with the flu, I am not feeling well, my digestive system's like whacked out of mind, I'm stress eating, like it's just, it does not, it's not good. I also know creatively, I cannot work from a place of feeling burnt out. So I know for a fact that I need a moment to give myself some time to just like get my brain to take a break. Because if I don't do that, then nothing happens, nothing works. And then I even feel worse about myself because I just wasted another day hating myself because I didn't take a break because I should have taken a break. The other thing that's really important when it comes to like taking a break for yourself, tomorrow I have a 4 p.m. shift. I most likely will not do anything like very crazy and important. Run some errands. I have to go to a clothing store. I'm gonna get my nails done. So I still do stuff on those days. I just do stuff that don't really require a lot of thinking where then I'm not like dead at my serving job later on. So make sure you kind of do that as well. Because I sometimes also give myself like a full day before I have to go into my serving job, a full day of break, hanging out, doing whatever, watching movies. And then 3 o'clock I get ready and I go and I leave for my serving job. So whatever works for you. Remember that things are not always going to work out the way they are supposed to. This is really, really important because if you're a perfectionist, if you are like very structured, I'm very structured, I'm obsessed with having a structure, but things are not always going to go to plan. Things are not always going to go the way they're supposed to. It's just life. And B, some of my career choices are not structured. Like for example, acting. I can't guarantee when I know I'm going to get auditions or I'm going to get booked, right? So it's okay if things don't go to schedule all the time. It will happen, and it will happen more than once. And sometimes it will happen for a whole month or 2 straight. That's happened to me a million times. It is what it is. Let it be. Do not blame yourself for it because there's nothing you can do about it. Let it go. It's not in your control. Just again, rearrange, take a moment to be like, okay, now this came up. What is still number one and important for me? Well, now this came up and maybe this is a really big thing for you and the deadline is like, let's say tomorrow. Okay, well then you have to rearrange what your schedule is today because this is the deadline for tomorrow. And you have to do this new thing first and then rearrange the rest of your schedule based on what's priority and what's not priority for you. what day is what job for you. For me, for example, Friday is always my YouTube day. That's the day my YouTube goes up. That's the day that I need to also put in my new edits because I have an editor who edits for me. I wish I could do this on my own, but I don't have the time for it. And B, I'm really bad at editing. I do not understand anything about editing. So I need to make sure that my new edits are uploaded so that my editor can get started. With that being said, I most likely will never film a YouTube video on Thursday. I will never do that. My YouTube video will always be filmed between Mondays and Tuesdays. Then it gives me enough time to figure out what I'm doing, that just in case if something didn't work or didn't happen, I'm not freaking out on Thursday, that I don't have anything new to give for my editor. So for me, Mondays and Tuesdays is like, one of them is going to be like the film, like plan what I'm doing and then film it. And then I'll also do my thumbnail, like I'll take photos and blah, blah, blah. Then I serve usually Tuesdays and Thursdays. So those would be sort of like my nails day, go make some errands, like maybe go for breakfast or something. Wednesdays, I could also serve, but if I'm not serving, I will do that as my Instagram day where I'll actually take half the day to plan out what I'm doing. And then the other half of the day, I'll actually film my Instagram reels, take my photos, blah, blah, blah. Fridays, first half is YouTube because I post it, make sure it's uploaded, blah, blah, blah. The other half could be a rest day or a work day. And then Saturday I serve. And then Sundays, I always try to make that my day off day. So coordinate kind of what days you want to do as what job. Try not to do all your jobs in one day. It's too much. It's too hard. Your brain can't like I keep saying your brain can't do it. And I'm like, I'm serious, honeys, your brain really can't do that. Like I personally tried to do, okay, I'm going to do Instagram half the day. Then the other half the day, I'm going to do YouTube. And then I'm going to finish off with something else. No, when I plan and film my Instagram reels, like that's a whole 8-hour day. I can't do a YouTube video on top of that. I don't have the energy to even talk and to even make sense on what I'm trying to say on my YouTube video. Figure out what your end goals are for each of your jobs / like careers. And from time to time, come back and reassess your end goals. So let's say for acting, about a year ago for me for acting was I want to gain experience. I want to know what it's like to be on film sets. I want to like make connections and network. Well, how do I do that? Okay, well, at the time I felt like if I had a principal agent, that wasn't going to help me because I wouldn't really get to know how to be on a film set without like being the lead, let's say character or something important, blah, blah, blah. This is where I went into background. I got 2 background agents. I started working in the background world and that was important to me because I got to learn what's it like to be on a film set. I got to learn how the whole world works. I made so many connections and I networked with so many people. So for the whole year of just doing background, that was my goal. I learned what I had to learn. I made my connections and my networks and I was able to get my foot in the door, which helped me then kind of progressing to the next level. After I felt like I hit that end goal, I came back and I reassessed my end goal again with acting. I felt, okay, now I know what I'm doing. I have a great demo. I have a nice resume. I have this and I have that. I think I'm ready to take it to the next level by getting a principal agent and now actually being the lead actor in the movies and TV shows and not being the background actor anymore. Now my end goal is different, right? So make sure you know what you want to do with that career. I mean, if you want to keep it as a hobby, that's also an end goal. I just want to keep this fun, lighthearted, and as a hobby. That is what my Instagram is right now for me. Who knows, maybe a year from now, I will change my mind and I'm ready to go into the branded world with Instagram and content and all that kind of stuff. Figure out what you want to do and then from time to time, whatever time that is, for me, maybe I'll reassess every month my end goal. It could be every 6 months, it could be every year, whatever works for you. Know your limit. Don't be the yes person. I had a really hard time learning this one. I felt like my limit was limitless. I felt like I was superwoman and I could do as much as I could do. And I always said yes to everything. Well, I mean, I am a people pleaser and I wanted to, be on top of everything and show that I'm good to do everything, but it's impossible. Know what your limit is. There's been times, for example, at my serving job, I've been asked to do all these extra things outside of work. I used to say yes. Now I'm like, no, I can't. I come in, I do my job that I'm scheduled to do, 4 p.m. till whatever, and then that's it. The minute I leave that door and I'm outside and I'm walking back home, that's it. My serving job is non-existent in my world in that moment until I come back to my serving job again. Acting world, maybe that will be my job where I'm always saying yes, obviously, because it's my number one. I always want to be the yes person right now in my career where I'm at for the acting. But I cannot be a yes for the Instagram. I cannot always be a yes for YouTube. I cannot always be a yes for the acting. And I cannot also be a yes for serving. It's impossible. Just know your limit. Know when you have to say stop and just, nothing's gonna happen. And if someone's gonna say something to you because you said stop, then I'm sorry, tell that person hasta la vista, see ya, bye-bye, because they are not nice and important enough for you. Keep your work area or like your workspace, whatever, tidy and organized. It sounds so funny and cliche, but it's true. They say that the way your work area, your workspace looks like is exactly what's happening in your brain. I'm not saying you have to always clean it all the time, but when you feel like you're coming to a point where like, ooh, it's a little disorganized, I need to figure out what's going on here, take the time, organize it, because then you will feel a lot more refreshed and like a reset button has been hit on you. For me, also, it's important to have my room clean, just like my apartment in general. I can't when everything's all over the place. I start to get stressed out and I could feel all these things are all over the place. The place is dirty. My clothes are everywhere. There's like laundry pouring out of the bin. I need to do all of that because once I do that, I feel like half of me is complete. Now the other half needs to get complete, which is doing like my content creating, my YouTube videos, like my acting auditions, blah, blah, blah. So just kind of get all that worked out. And I'm telling you, it's gonna really help. It's gonna be a whole other, ball game after that. Well, honeys, those are my 8 tips and tricks that helped me sort of balance out like a crazy work schedule when you're like, doing 25 jobs. Let me know in the comments below if they helped you, if they did not. If there are other tips and tricks that I did not mention here that you think are helpful, please comment below. I'd love to put them into my schedule and see how they work. Anyways, honeys, it's time for me to go. I'm gonna eat my lunch and go do my Halloween decorations. I'm really excited. Halloween's one of my favorite holidays. Anyways, I love you, honeys. Please don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram at Anastasia_Piero, and I'll see you all next Friday. Bye, honeys.